Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm currently sitting on my bathroom floor. Very Trisha Paytas coated. I'm just randomly, I guess, wanting to talk about my thoughts on, I guess, the state of the world. I don't know, maybe a ramble. I was gonna make a TikTok, but I just feel like no, that doesn't do how I feel justice. This is like some real tea, some real shit. I decided to make a YouTube video because if you're watching this on YouTube, I believe you're a real ass BITCH. You're a real ass mother ever. If you're watching this, you were meant to find this. It's not like, I don't know, TikTok's just so random. See the randomest stuff. But in my mind, the videos I come across on YouTube are more like meant to watch. And if I watch the whole thing, it's like, that was really for me. That was really my vibe. So this is really your vibe, then it's really your vibe. Basically, I am just sitting here thinking about the current times of the world and what it feels like living in America. That's what we'll call this video. Put it here, what it's like living in America in 2025. And basically the outlook is not good, not that freaking good, okay? I'm literally sitting here just going through a fucking rabbit hole, a spiral, and that's kind of what it's like living in America. Just it's a big fucking spiral, and you can either go down the rabbit hole and have your mind be totally fucked every single second of the day, or you can skip the rabbit hole, jump over it, do a little hop, and just be in oblivion to it, right? And once you go down the rabbit hole, you can never come back. I don't know why people really say that about the rabbit hole. Like, again, you go down the rabbit hole, what it means, but it's like, once you go, you can never truly come back. Because, right, this is like life, just kind of, ignoring the government. Few years ago, it's like, okay, government's not in your face. Is there flaws? Is there issues? Is there all this bullshit? Yes. But is it in your face? No. You can live your life normal. You can have goals. You can have aspirations. You can just, be living, enjoying your life, having a good freaking time. And I don't know, sometimes living in America literally makes me feel crazy because literally I don't know what portion of my brain is like fucked when I think, like, thinking about America has my brain so fucked for such a large portion of my life, my day. Like, the fact that how stressed, how frustrated, how saddened, how just horrific I feel mentally, physically, all the freaking time because of the stuff going on. It's just insane. It's fucking nuts. It's like really like, and maybe I have lived very privileged life, like being in America. I'm 24 years old, like being 24, living in America. America is not perfect. It's never been perfect. But as a person living in a first world country, it's like you have privileges that people in second and third world cultures and countries, they don't have. Like, being someone who is Hispanic, I'm Mexican American, like, I've just been aware of that, right? I am born in America. My parents were born in America. I am, I think, a third or a second generation Hispanic. And with that, I have the understanding of, other countries. I'm not like, well versed in every single aspect of, how, countries differ, what makes a first world country, what makes a second, what's a third, and, what would a day in a life be of someone living in a third world country, or, what would a year be like, a lifetime. It's so hard to imagine once you have that privilege of being American. Like, if you're my age, you have, in a broad terms of the world, had a lot of privilege, right? It's not perfect, but you have privilege. You have the privilege of being able to go to school, having a house, having water, having food, having access to so many things, having even public transportation, and, being able to choose your own religion and your own beliefs and how you dress, how you look, what you do with your life, It's not perfect, but being my age, that's something I've always had. And that's kind of like the thing is like, living here in America, it's been, fine. Like, I can think of, people even present day, right? You learn about history and you learn about wars and killing people and all this terrible things. But, as an American, I was 24 years old. I've never lived, in my 24 years of life, being an American. Like, people could say whatever they want about America and trash on it, but I can understand how I'm fortunate to have been born here, when there's people who were born in other places and never have had one day of what I've had here. And that is heartbreaking, And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was gonna rant and it just took me somewhere else, but yeah, it sucks. And I don't know, right now it feels crazy. It feels really weird, like transcending. Like, I felt this really angry and now I'm sad. And this is like what it is like to be living in America. It's like this big, this winding, I don't know why the word coming to mind is just rabbit hole. Like, it just doesn't stop. I don't know. I really need to look up what this word means, like this phrase. Like, why do they refer to these never ending as rabbit holes? But maybe rabbit holes don't end, because this is tough. It's like every day there is something new, and it's hard. I don't know if I said this, but I was thinking about how at this point, 6 years ago, was like the beginning or whatever of the pandemic, and I can feel like myself in that time frame when I was, like 19 years old. And it was like the scariest thing that I ever felt in my life. Like, and I know a lot of people can relate, that it was like, dang, like, what is this? There's this deadly disease that, there's this deadly disease that we don't know everything about. We don't know the outcome of. And but yeah, that we don't know the outcome of. And I would live not every day just not knowing what would happen. And that was a very scary time. And I was just thinking about how now is, not like that. It's worse in the sense that, yeah, it's just weird right now. And it's weird that the state of the world, that America seems like so messed up and effed up and cruel. And I don't know, it's so weird, and I never imagined something like this in my lifetime. I don't know if anyone could have, any person. Maybe there are people who could, but I never pictured this stuff coming. I never ever pictured this stuff coming, and it's heartbreaking. And it is just really weird. It's weird, all the parallels where, for years of life, for the 24 years of my living, there was always a saying, history repeats itself, history repeats itself. And I've often heard that, being referred to literal history, and, people maybe take that to their own history, but I've always connected that to world history, right? The same things, happen. Patterns are there. And I remember, in my education, learning about the things of history. And a lot of history is not that great, right? A lot of history is basically, history is people, we call them countries, but people who are trying to achieve world domination, right? To some degree, whether that's the kings, the pharaohs, the presidents, the dictators. It's basically people who want to dominate the world, a part of the world, and the intentions are, they're all over the place. Maybe some are great, some are mixed, some are gray, some are the worst of the worst, the best of the best, and in between. And there's very few that are the worst of the worst, and very few that are the best of the best. A lot are in between. But yeah, it just kind of feels like, I guess this is life. Like, sometimes I think, right, well, that's kind of, I guess, the good part. This is the part of the spiral where it's the good part. The good part is where you have hope, right? Because in history, we can see that things happen, usually they fade. And a lot of things, right, that is history that was bad, it was put to an end, right? That's why it's not present, it's history. We are in the present, and that part of the present that we are is kind of the shitty part of history. But after the shitty part of history becomes, the part where the good force comes in. And sometimes, I guess, even on a small scale of life, right? If we look at ourselves as individuals, we can see that we're like the pendulum swing, where we can have a really great part of our life. We can have a not so great part of our life. And some days or years we're constantly swinging. Some days and years are stuck. And slowly does it make their way to the other side. And I think we're on this side. And it's the part of being very young. I mean, in the grand scheme of life, I'm pretty young. I mean, life has gone on for centuries, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. You know, like what is really 25 years out of all those years, you know, and all the cycles that take place and everything that goes on. And I don't know, see, that's the part of the cycle that is like the coping mechanisms. That's like the way to cope through thinking is, I guess, just thinking positive. And if you are watching this video, if you're making it through this just ramble, I hope that's what you take out of it, that it's just good to be positive. You know, things are constantly in movement and changing, and I don't know if it just sounds like spiritual mumbo jumbo. You know, if you're really listening, there's definitely truth there, that things are always shifting, and you know, we're just that one swing to the other side. And from what I've learned in my years of living is that good always wins. And right now feels like a really, really scary time. And it seems, I don't know, I guess a little bit fucked up to say that things will get better, because for right now, for me as an individual, it's not that great. For you watching as an individual, it's not that great. For people who are really, really going through awful times right now, it is not that great. And yeah, I guess it's one of those things where, I mean, I think a lot of people in this world are empaths, and I think not we, but like the internet. So yes, we, because we're here, right? Like the people on, you know, the internet and media make it seem like there's more heartless people, that people don't have empathy. And that's true. There's people who don't have empathy, but I think there's a lot more people who are empathetic than we account for, you know. I think the idea is pushed on people that people suck, and it can be really easy to just believe that people suck when we're not seeing them be great, or the ones that are supposed to help and protect people when they're not being great. But literally like 1:30 in the morning, and this is the part of the cycle where it's like, damn, yeah, I guess I'm just fed up with thinking about this. I'm glad we could go on this little spiral together, and I hope if you are watching this because you are somewhat spiraling or have experienced that, I really hope that you can just take this with, you know, not a heaviness, right? These things can feel heavy, but we have to remind ourselves to bring back the light and bring back the positive energy.